We are fearfully and wonderfully made. There's a lot about us that just is deep. It's wonderful. We have the body, the flesh, that outward part that you can see and all. You can feel, and you have smell and taste and audible. We can hear, eyes and all that, touch. And then there's the inward part, like inside the person. And there's the physical on the inside too, such as the brain up here, see, and then you have like the eyeball and all this stuff behind that, the muscles and nerves and everything. You have the skull. Then you have like the inside of the person, which is sort of, if I can get him apart, there we go. Then we have the physical in here, the guts, the lungs, the heart, the liver, all that stuff. And then there's the invisible part of man that is very interesting. It's deep. It's an invisible part that's not tangible. You can't feel it. You can't taste it. How would you like to taste yourself? You can't smell it. It's just spiritual and soulish. So keep that in mind as we go into this next passage. One little verse that is really cool. Jesus said, "For," this is verse 35, by the way, in chapter 8. Thanks for joining me, by the way. It says, "For whoever will save his life," we'll go over that in a second. It says, "Whoever will save his life shall lose it." Huh? I love Jesus. It's really good, deep. "For whoever shall lose his life for my sake in the Gospels," what do you think he said then? "Shall save it." You know, the verse before is that whoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever, so that word "for" connects to the last verse. He's explaining that if you don't deny yourself, if you don't take up a cross, and that doesn't mean literally die, but sometimes it does mean literally die. It's people that die for Jesus all the time. It's still happening. They said, you know, they want you to deny Jesus and throw the religion away and all that. And he said, "No, I'm not going to do it because Jesus died for me and he's raised from the dead and I'm going to be raised from the dead. So you could take my life." See, take my life, meaning you're losing it. So that last verse, "Whoever shall come after me," if you're going to call yourself a disciple, then you're going to deny yourself. You're going to take up a cross and die to yourself. And you're going to serve him and follow him. Then he says, "For whoever shall save his life will lose it." So if you're going to try and save your life and say, "No, I don't believe in Jesus and I'm just going to live the way I want," and all that, there's two different things there. One is you could be in a country, a nation or something that, or someone challenges you to the point where, "Will you die for this?" If you say, "No, I'm not going to die for it," you know, I'm not going to give up my life, then you won't give up your physical life, but you have now given up your eternal life. You're not going to be saved. You've lost your salvation. So that's what he's saying. Whoever shall save his life shall lose it, but whoever will lose his life for two things, he said, for my sake, in other words, for me, doing it for me. That's the reason you're going to lose your life. I do it for him. He did it for me. I'll do it for him if I had that opportunity. He says, whoever shall lose his life for my sake and the Gospels. By the way, Mark mentions and the Gospels. Matthew doesn't, Matthew 10. Now, there's several passages, 4 passages in John and Luke and Matthew, Mark and all that have similar things, but this is definitely a parallel with Matthew here. And he adds the Gospel. The Gospel is the good news. The message is a good message. And that message is salvation. That message is Jesus Christ dying for you and all that. So he says, whoever shall lose his life for my sake and the good news, the message, the cause of Jesus, the same shall save it. You're going to save your life. So let me draw it out like this. Maybe this will help, maybe it won't. I hope you understand it. And if you're a child listening to this, woohoo, let's go deep. Let's do it, you and I. Let's talk about this. So Jesus says, and I love this, how he does this a lot. It's a paradox thing. If you save your life, you'll lose it. What? Well, in other words, if you decide, I've already said it, but let me say it again. If you decide to protect your life and and you don't want to serve Jesus because you don't want to lose your life, or you like the way you live, you like how you act, you like the idea of getting riches or fame or whatever, all the things that the world has to offer, if you're saving your life, you want that, you're going to lose it in the end. But if you said, Jesus, I give myself to you, I lose my life for you, like I give it all up. You lose it into his hands. Here, you take it. Then you do what you want with it. If you do that, you're going to actually save it at the end. In the end times. You're actually giving your life to him so that he can keep it and not you. And he will save it and not you saving it. You know, you put yourself in his hands. Do you understand? And then you get heaven. You get the reward of having eternal life, not just this type of life. So whoever saves his life will lose it. He who saves his life loses it. He who loses his life, in other words, you give it up for Jesus, you actually save it. Isn't that beautiful? Now, here's the idea of life. You have two sides here. You have life that is physical, you know, this guy right here. Physical, you feel it, touch it, and all that. And then you have a spiritual life inside. It's invisible and it has to do with your spirit, things that are connected to God. Then you have temporal. This physical life is temporal. It only lasts for a short time. Eternal means you have it forever and ever and ever and ever. So which would you rather have? You'd rather have physical life and pleasure and fun and comfort and all that here, and then you give that up, or would you rather give up the comforts and go ahead and give a lot of money away and you bless people and you live for others to serve God and others and not serving yourself, and they have eternal? Which would you choose? You could choose it right now, by the way. Please do. This side, physical, temporal, this is the side that he says, if you're going to go ahead and save your life and go ahead and do what you want and you sin, then you're giving up righteousness. And this side over here, the spiritual life, the eternal life, is righteousness, living right. You have a choice between one or the other. And that's what this is about, a lot of choices. Well, actually, it's not a lot. It's just simple. Either it's Jesus or yourself. Either Jesus is on your throne of your heart, or you're on your throne of your heart, and you live the way you want and act how you want. So this one is sin, righteousness. This one is basically, you deny Jesus, say no to him, and you're going to say, no, I don't believe in Jesus and all. You have eternal death. Now you've agreed to death. You're going to die and you're going to be without Christ. But if you confess Jesus, you decide, nope, I'm going to confess Jesus, and you might even end up losing your life here, then you get life there. Does that make sense? One last thing I'd like to say, well, a couple of last things. This word about soul, now this one I'm going to go really quick. This is pretty tough. There's at least 10 meanings of the word soul in the Bible. See, we're talking the Greek, which is suke, I think is how you pronounce that. Suke, that's a Greek word. We say soul. If you read the Bible in the original language, it's suke. So it's right up here. See that P-S-U-C-H-E? Do you see that right there? Okay. Then, it actually means breath, or particularly the breath of life. It's really what it means. But here it goes. There's different meanings and different ways it's used in the New Testament. The word suke. Just like we have certain words and we use it different ways. Like if I say the word bad, you think, oh, bad means not good and all. Or you could say, that was bad. You know, really I'm saying that was good. Like, wow, that was bad. Wasn't that bad? Wasn't that cool? It's just the opposite. You know, it's different ways of saying the meanings of the word. So you have one is the natural life of the body. There's all these verses about all these. The natural life of the body. In other words, I say, let's go out and save souls. We'll talk about people. That's what souls is. Souls means people. Okay, or this is the one I'm really talking about. Inside this guy, inside you have an immaterial, invisible part. I've already said that. Your soul is that part which is in you, and we'll go into a little deeper in a second, but that's that part in you that's invisible, immaterial. Disembodied, it's different verses that talk about disembodied, like it doesn't have a body, it's a soul. Okay, then you have what we call the seat of personality. It's the seat of who you are. It's seat meaning it sits on it. It's the foundation, it's the bottom, it's the personality of who you are. It's the root of your personality, it's who you are as a person. Okay, this is a part that perceives, that reflects, you think about things, you feel things, you desire things. Okay, we'll go into that a little bit later. And then we have the same word can be used, the word soul can be used for will and purpose. Do you see number 6? Will and purpose. Whoops, sorry. Can you see that? Okay. Like your will and your purpose, you purpose to do things. Where does that come from? It's not come from your body, your ears, or your nose or something. Your fingers. It comes from inside. It's your will. And that word is used different ways in the New Testament that way. Persons, individuals. The word souls has to do with certain persons or individuals. Like, that soul is such a sweet soul, might someone say. Now, we could say that person, but sometimes it's the word soul, suke. And then you have personal pronouns, second person, third person. Like that soul, his soul said that, or my soul says that. It's different first, second, third persons. Then you have animate creature. It could be human or other. Sometimes you can maybe even think in one sense, animals sort of have a soul. They don't have the same sort of thing, but they have an inward life that they have. It's an inward. Another one is the inward person. It's the seed of a new life. If you say my soul has been changed, my soul has been saved, you have new life because of Jesus Christ. Okay, the last thing I want to say is this. Another way of thinking of it. I want to make sure you get this. That again, the soul is on the inside of you. It's down here, and it includes your mind up here. Okay, so there's soul. Do you see that? And in short, we could say it's your desires, it's your mind and your thoughts, the emotions, how you feel is in your soul, kind of what you choose, your will, kind of has that sense in it. And this is really good, the life that you enjoy, the life that you now enjoy. And what God is saying through Jesus is literally saying to you that he says, for whoever shall save his soul, his life, shall lose it, but whoever shall lose his soul, life, for my sake in the gospel, is the same shall save it. You have a choice. You either go after Jesus and you embrace him by faith and you say, Lord, I lose my life into your hands. I give it to you. And when you do that, you save it. If you go, I don't want to suffer for Jesus. I want what the world has, the pleasures, the things that the world has to offer, you're going to lose your soul. See, why forfeit it? And then Jesus goes on in these next verses that we're going to discuss later, is the idea, why go after the world and lose your soul? What are you going to give in exchange for your soul? So I hope you understand that, and please give your life to Christ.